Sitting over here, we have 8 Walmart subs that are going to be going in this wall build that we are doing. This is, of course, going to be the world's biggest Walmart build. At least that's the plan. That being said, we are making slow progress at getting this thing done, which is no good, guys. I need to get this box wrapped up. This is going to be a wall build, which means everything from behind these back seats is going to be walled off, and then really the entire back of the car is going to be just a giant subwoofer box, which means this thing is going to get insane. It's going to be loud. It's going to shake. It's going to get windy, and it's going to be awesome. In the prior videos, we, of course, put this roof on here. We stripped the entire interior. We put down sound deadening. We started the foundation for the box. We've got it kind of figured out. Next thing we need to do, we need to make the rear port. We need to figure out where all the subs are gonna go, cut out all those holes. We then need to make a back and a front, and of course the front port for this guy. Let's get it. Now, this is my rear port. Basically, it's pretty simple. All it is this. This is gonna be a port between the bottom chamber and the top chamber. This is, of course, what makes a box like this a 6th order box as opposed to a 4th order box. In a 4th order box, the bottom chamber is sealed, then the top chamber just has the one port, going out to the front of the vehicle. Generally speaking, sometimes you get a better range of output with a 6th order. So that's what I'm gonna do. That being said, guys, really either can sound good or feel proper. And I have no idea if I'm building this properly or not, so we'll just find out and see. All right, well that dries, we gotta pull this guy out, go ahead and figure out where our cutouts are gonna be for the port, and then figure out, go ahead and mark where we're gonna cut the holes for all the subs. Oh boy, guys. Now, the easiest way to trace out the holes for the subs is inside the box. They have a cardboard ring, and it happens to be, obviously, just the right size. So we'll be able to lay that down, kind of measure, figure out exactly where I want everything, and then trace it out. Got the markings for the subs. I wanted everything to be super uniform. For instance, I wanted these 2 subs to be directly in the middle, drew a line down the middle, and then figured out exactly where I wanted these 2 subs, drew a line, figured out where I wanted these ones, and as you can see here, I messed up. This was a bad line, but this is the good line. Same thing over here, I messed up over here too. Good line, bad line. Anyway, drawing these lines allowed me to make sure that, again, just I had everything in line, perfectly in uniform. Of course, I wanted these subs to be exactly in the middle of this pair and this pair. I want to be in the middle that way and in the middle this way, and I think we accomplished it. All this, guys, takes a ton of time just as far as planning. When you're doing something like this, you want it to be done right the first time. Don't want to make mistakes you have to go back and fix. Just be a huge pain. But we are making some progress. Glad to have that figured out. Next up, we got to cut all these holes. You guys know that is not my favorite thing to do. Takes forever. I just have a little jigsaw, but I guess we'll get it done. That's right, guys. Of course, Alfred Audio, the owners of Def Bonds and Avatar, came out with some new Apocalypse speakers. We got the new M65 AM Pros and the M67 AM Pros. These guys are 220 watts RMS. These fellas are 330 watts RMS, which is pretty crazy for a 6.5 inch speaker, but let's open these things up and check them out. This is my first time seeing these as well. Let's get this open. We'll start with the M65s. Of course, we get the owner's manual, decal, warranty info, and really like this, they give you some gasket rings. Take a look at that. Now that is a beautiful looking speaker right there. Oh man. Y'all, the design that has gone into these things is crazy. That is beautiful. Let's also get a look at its bigger brother, the M67. Let's see what we got here. Of course, these guys just a little bit bigger and beefier. Let's compare them. Just by looking at the top, they look pretty identical. You wouldn't really know which was which. That being said, the bigger fella definitely has some more weight to it. They both have those nice Allen key connectors. They both have the same basket design. Again, they really look the same. Really, the only way you would know they're different is by the back. Big thanks to Alfred Audio for sending me these. I actually am going to make a full review of these things where we're going to hook them up. We're going to see how loud they get, how crisp they sound, so definitely stay tuned for that. All right, guys, let's get back to the video. Next thing I need to do, I need to go ahead and caulk all the corners, especially down here before I put the top on. Because once the subwoofer baffle is sitting here, it'll be really hard to get up here. That being said, I realized I've kind of ran into a problem when building this. I now realize my box is really shifted too far forward. It would work where it's at, but what I didn't think about is that I actually need to have a front baffle, sort of a front face plate on this side of this. And with doing that, that really puts me just kind of in a crunch for room up front. I want to make sure there's plenty of room so that way people can sit in this thing and get demos. And guys, I have got all this space back here, just tons of space that I'm not going to need. Fortunately, this is not glued and not caulked yet, so I think I can take out all these screws, and hopefully I can just slide this whole thing forward. Alright, I moved it 1.5 inches forward, so it was sitting flush with this guy. I've got 1.5 inches back, which I think is what we want. Now let's see, guys, this gives me a lot more room. Tons of room up here now. Perfect. And this is still flush. Still comes up with my B-pillar, so I can run a piece of wood across. Of course, tie into the B-pillar there. And of course, still have room for days back here. Got it all screwed back down, and I gotta say, guys, that little bit actually makes a huge difference. The bottom and the top, all nice and caulked up. First thing I do, drill out some holes. That of course allows me to stick my jigsaw right in here and start cutting. This is my least favorite thing to do. Thought about buying a router and one of those little circle jigs. That way I could just put on there and make it nice and easy, and I'd have a perfect circle. But in the spirit of this being a budget build, it was going to cost me like close to $300 to get a good router and a circle jig, so we're just going to roll with it like this. Alright, I've got my first hole cut. Now one thing I always like to do after cutting my first hole is just do a little test fit. No point in cutting one hole wrong, and then, no point in cutting all the holes wrong if I didn't do something right. So let's see. Well, that fits in there really good. And there's a teeny bit of wiggle room, so I probably could cut a teeny bit smaller on the next round, but that'll work. So I didn't want to buy an actual D-wall, so I bought this little saw over here that runs off of DeWalt batteries. It was 50 bucks, and it got pretty good reviews. That being said, after cutting out these 2 holes, guys, it is quite warm and I'm smelling it, so might not have been a good investment. Oh no, guys, this fella is smoking. Not good. Not even halfway done. I don't know if the camera will pick it up. Yeah, there it is. Man, that is no good, guys. I thought it'd at least, you know, be good enough to cut all these little holes out. Well, I got a brand new battery. Cut a little bit more, but now it is freezed up. No good. Good old Lowe's. So we grabbed a corded Black & Decker one. It was only 33 bucks. But of course you gotta buy blades. That was another 10 bucks. Still cheaper than the cheap Amazon guy. That being said, of course, we do gotta deal with the cord. Okay, this already feels just way nicer, and it feels like it'll go a lot faster too. Also, you can hook up a vacuum to it, which is handy, but anyway, let's get to cutting. Oh my goodness, that was so much faster than using that little cheap one that I had. Okay, first off, this guy was 35 bucks. Second, it cut way faster. Third, it actually blew all the sawdust away from where I was cutting, whereas the other one, it kept just piling it up. I'm glad to have this done. Next up, we gotta cut out the slot for the rear port. That is, of course, this outer line around here. Okay, the rear port fits. It's gonna be kind of like this, not exactly, it might be a little bit further down, but that'll give y'all an idea of the rear port. All right, next up, we gotta give this guy a nice sand. Since this is just your, standard plywood, does not come pre-sanded, which is a pain. I like it in the nice sanded stuff. But again, guys, budget build over here. Gotta put in a little bit more legwork. Got it just lightly sanded down. Also on the port, got all my edges just rounded over. Just a little bit, make it a little bit nicer. This is a lot of work, but it's gonna be worth it. All right, next up, since we did use the cheap plywood, it's of course full of knot holes. So, got some stainable wood filler. We're just gonna go in and fill in any of the holes that we can before we stain this thing. Right, got most of the holes filled that are worth, filling up. A lot of these things aren't really holes, they're just knots. Hey, once we stain it all, it'll look fine. All right, let's load up the baffle, make sure everything's good. Look at that. Y'all's coming along. Next up, let's go ahead, throw all the subs in, just so we can kind of get a taste of how it's gonna look. Looky there. That is a beautiful sight. Well, at least if you're into Walmart subs, I guess, but it looks really, really cool. Just imagine sitting over here in the passenger seat, getting a demo. This is gonna be fun. One thing I wanna do before putting the back on and everything is go ahead, get everything stained that I can. So I'm gonna stain the roof, stain the sides, stain the top of the baffle, and I'm gonna stain the portion of the port that'll be sticking up where you can see it. Now here's my old 815s box, and I've still got a good deal of stain left over from it, so that's what we're gonna use. Wow, the stain looks really pretty on this pine. Really gives it a nice look. Very happy with this. Now, all this is going to be in the rear, in the bottom chamber, so we're not going to see it, so no point in wasting stain on it. All right, let's get this guy stained. Guys, that looks awesome. Oh, I am getting excited. This is coming together. Oh boy. Next up, guess we gotta do inside here. Oh boy. Real quick, I gotta say, I am not just winging this box. I gotta give a huge shout out to my buddy Patrick with Smashy Designs. He designed this 6 order for me, and really appreciate it. Designing boxes is definitely not my strong point. He designed this box and the, I think, prior 2 or 3 boxes that I've built, and they have all been awesome, so I know this one's gonna smash. Ran out of stain, so ran to Lowe's, picked up some more, and got the last 2 sheets of plywood I'm gonna need. We are getting so close. Oh man, I am glad to have that done. The ceiling, the roof was an absolute pain. But again, hey, finally done with that. Now, of course, everything below here you won't see, so don't need to paint that. I might stain this bottom part though, because you will see some of this. And there it is with the baffle. This is getting exciting. Put trash bags over the seats so I wouldn't get stain on them. Obviously don't want 6 million little dots all over the back of my seats, because this stain just kind of gets everywhere. But worth it, guys. I can taste it. We're getting close.